I've got it, now you can too. It's the effing audacity. Now in a can.
Hello, my name is Renee Maxine Haas, and this is the Effing Audacity. In this episode, I wanted to share my top favorite water experiences throughout my almost 2 years of international travel. The benefit of solo traveling is that you get to try new things, but also do things that you're familiar with. And in all of this expanded experience, as you do it totally on your own, you get to know yourself better. For things that you knew that you already enjoyed, there's this deepening of this sense of, okay, I like this, but I really, really like this. When you're trying new things, you find out, oh, okay, actually, I really like this too, or no, that's not for me. And you have this appreciation that, oh, I'm glad that I tried that out. Now I know. When you solo travel, you get to be entirely selfish with your time. You get to do whatever it is that you want to do, or however long it is that you want to do it. You don't have somebody saying, oh, can we leave this? I'm tired or I'm hungry. If you want to be in a museum for 5 hours, you can be in a museum for 5 hours. If you are in some kind of activity and you want to dip because you're over it, nobody is stopping you. When you go solo, there is nobody around there to judge you. And side note, nobody thinks about you as much as you think about you. People aren't as judgmental in this world as you think they are. So please don't let what you think other people are thinking hold you back from being yourself, putting yourself out there, trying new things. Don't be afraid to be seen trying. Don't be afraid to be silly. Just go for it. What are you going to do? Walk through this life trying to be a little perfect, but then through this perfection never actually do anything? No, that's not it. That's not it. So while you're out here doing this solo thing, there's nobody else to cater to. You are not out here doing activities for the sake of someone else's enjoyment. It's just whatever you want to be doing. Some of the times that's going to look like trying something brand new for the first time. And as I mentioned, sometimes it means that you get to do the things you already know that you enjoy, and you get to discover to what depth you enjoy those things. For me, I've always loved art, architecture, food, and being out in nature, being out in green spaces. I found out that on days that I was going to a fantastic art museum or I was on a food tour, that I absolutely came alive. I was so excited on those days, so full of energy. Speaking of energy, I also learned throughout my travel that being out in nature, being out in green spaces was a necessity for me. It wasn't optional. If I wasn't out in a park or a botanical gardens, out hiking at least once a week, I felt ungrounded. I felt low energy. And I learned that that is something in my life that is a non-negotiable. It's essential for my mental health, for my emotional health. I also, in these travels, learned, which I kind of already knew, that water is not for me. Water is not my highest excitement. I'm pretty sure that in a past life I died of drowning. I have a lot of anxiety around being in water. I never learned to become a very great swimmer. However, I didn't allow that to stop me from having wonderful experiences related to water during my travels. And there are opportunities where I stepped out of my comfort zone so that I could really and truly see more of this world. So, without further ado, these are my top 5 favorite water experiences. This in no way is a list of the best places to go for beaches or snorkeling. That's not my expertise. You can find that for somebody else. But this is how I learned to enjoy water. Starting at number 5, Malta. Malta is a small island country near Italy. The country of Malta is so romantic, and it has these beautiful, beautiful blue waters. One of the activities that I decided to do was this day trip. We get on a boat, we go to the island of Gozo, we get to explore that, and a big part of this trip is getting into and spending a few hours in the Blue Lagoon. I remember this feeling as we got onto the boat and we started sailing that, okay, I'm feeling okay. I don't feel any sickness. Actually, I'm kind of enjoying this. We keep sailing and we get to the Blue Lagoon, and it's one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen. The water is just deep and rich, this stunning, stunning blue. We're cozied into the shape of the island circling around us. People are jumping off of the boat to swim, going down a slide. I am just taking in the warm air, the ocean smell, and I realized I loved that. I had never thought that boat trips like these would be a thing for me, but I ended up loving it so much. It was the highlight of my time in Malta. And if I hadn't said yes to new experiences, there's no way that I would have ever learned that that's something that I really enjoyed. I followed my intuition with going to Malta. It wasn't originally on my list of places to go. Malta being an island with the activities largely being around water and those kind of experiences, that wouldn't be my first place to go, but something called to me, hey, you need to go and experience this. I remember a year prior to that, I had already been traveling for some time, and I kept seeing all of these signs for Malta. I saw it on a refrigerator magnet in an Airbnb. I was doing laundry, and the person next to me, we got to chatting. They had just come from Malta and was telling me all about it. I kept hearing this over and over in 6, 7 different times within a few weeks. So that just clued me into, hey, maybe I should go to Malta. I'm so grateful that I listened to my intuition. It was a beautiful experience, and I definitely learned something new about myself by going to that place. Coming in at number 4, we have Bali. Bali is another example of a place that has a lot of water emphasis that normally that's not something that I would go for. It is such an incredibly beautiful place. It's very rich in spiritual experiences, which is something that I personally adore. And I wanted my experiences throughout this world to be well-rounded. One of the experiences that we had the opportunity of doing while in Bali was to go snorkeling. Now, I had been snorkeling once before. I had gone snorkeling in the Galapagos Islands. So I already knew that snorkeling is very uncomfortable to me. My anxiety goes through the roof in a way that I don't experience with anything else in life. So it's the day of the snorkeling. I drank way too much coffee that morning, and when we were gearing up to go snorkeling, my hands were shaking enough that somebody else noticed it. Was it the coffee? Was it the anxiety? It was definitely both. So we get on the boat, we head out, and we get to our first snorkeling stop. And I am, my like breath is stuck into my chest. People are starting to just like so easily and casually put their snorkel and their goggles on and just pop into the water. And I'm like, okay, this is it. This is time. We are doing this. We're gonna do it. I get to the edge of the boat. I get my gear ready. I pop into the water. The waves aren't too intense. I have a life jacket on. I am spending the first few minutes breathing. I'm breathing so hard, so anxiously. My mind is kind of blurry. I am actively fighting back panicky feelings. I'm breathing super hard through the snorkel. And I just keep telling myself, okay, get relaxed, just focus on your breathing. It took me quite a moment before I was ready to actually put my face into the water, take a look at what was there. And then I finally did. I'm moving around, I'm seeing fish. I saw a freaking turtle. I saw a turtle. It was so cool. It was so cool. We snorkeled around for a while. I am exhausted. I am so drained. There's the physicality of snorkeling, but also I did the most to get myself emotionally there to be able to actually do this experience. The funny thing is that when we had stopped at another island for lunch, I was so wiped out. There's this video of me where everybody is just enjoying their lunch and I am passed out in the sand, just in total recovery mode. The other people after lunch snorkeled some more. I opted out because I knew my limits and that was enough. While that was one of the most anxiety ridding things I've ever done, I'm so grateful that I didn't let my fears prevent me from having that experience. I also know that I have no intention of snorkeling again. Twice was enough for me, and that is okay. But I am grateful to have had the experience of snorkeling in Bali. Coming in at number 3, kayaking in Canada. One of the things about solo traveling is if you stay in hostels or you're out on group trips, you get to meet new people from all around the world. One of the things that happened for me is right before I left internationally, I went to visit Chicago. I met this woman from Toronto. We totally clicked, and somehow throughout a year of travel, we stayed connected, even though we only had seen each other for a few hours in our lives. We were somehow in this deep bond. After 10 months of travel, I made it to Toronto, and we knew that we had to have this great opportunity to get to spend real time with each other to expand our friendship. Her husband and I rented a cabin north of Toronto, and as part of the activities that we did while we were there is we took their kayaks, took it out on a lake. It was such a wonderful experience. I loved connecting with them in one of the most Canadian ways. The two of them had recently taken some classes how to kayak as a team. Watching them in real time utilize their skills, how they were communicating, it was so adorable and fun to watch. They let me participate. I got to do some rowing. They gave very good compliments. They made me feel like I was a natural pro. We're probably just saying that to be sweet, as many Canadians are, but I loved it. It was such a lovely day, such a lovely way to connect with friends, and I'll always remember that experience. Number 2, Croatia. If anybody has ever been to Croatia, they know that it is some of the most beautiful waters in the world. The oceans, the lakes, the waterfalls. It has it all, and man, it is stunning. The water in Croatia looks like it's photoshopped in real life. The ocean water is this gorgeous, gorgeous, vibrant blue. I remember on one particular day, I was really interested in going to the beach. One of the things that I don't really enjoy solo is water experiences. Going to the beach, going to the pool. I like having company when I do those things. I knew that I wanted to have this beach experience to enjoy what Croatia had to offer, but I didn't want to go alone. So I got the courage to start asking people in my hostel. It's this part of putting yourself out there that might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but sure enough, people were down. People were so into going. All it took was a little bit of courage to just ask. I just had to ask. We ended up going to the beach for several hours, swimming around, laughing, meeting other people while we were there. It was a really beautiful experience, and one that took a little bit of stepping out of my comfort zone to get to enjoy. Another part of my experience in Croatia was more inland, and that was going to some of the lakes and waterfalls that they have. Again, this is water photoshopped through your eyeballs. The blues, the greens of these lakes, oh my God, I've never seen anything like it. It sticks so firmly and strongly in my memory that now to this day, throughout all of my travels, when people say, hey, what's your favorite place that you've ever been? I say, without a doubt, my favorite place for water is Croatia. Okay, and now we're to our last water experience. Number 1, it was Milford Sounds in New Zealand. Milford Sound is wow. It's another one of these moments that brought me to tears. It was so stunning and impactful. Leading up to the day of going to Milford Sounds, I was on this group tour. We had been traveling around as a group for a few days. We had some luck with weather, but on this day, it started out rainy. Now, they say if you go to Milford Sounds, there is no bad weather day. If it's rainy, you get more waterfalls. If it's clear, you get to enjoy the water experience and you're not getting rained on. Right as we're approaching the entrance, the skies are clearing. We queue up and we're getting ready for our turn to get onto a ferry boat to take a cruise around the sound. I think about where it is, where we are in that moment. I'm with this group. The weather has cleared. We're going to get the best of both worlds, a clear sky and rushing waterfalls throughout the sound. I realize we have this perfect opportunity in this incredible weather, and it hits me. I feel inspired to speak to the group, so I turn to them and I say, look where we are right now. We could be anywhere else at this moment. We could be at work, wishing we were here instead. We could be at dinner with our family, judging our drunk uncle, but we're not. We're here right now in this moment on this beautiful, perfect weather day. It felt big. It felt monumental. It felt important. And I could just feel the energy. We all got so excited, and it was breathtaking. The waterfalls were flowing intensely. There was a dolphin, there were seals. Everything around was so gorgeous and green, and the waters were perfect. 100% one of the most beautiful experiences. New Zealand is unmatched with its natural beauty. I am so grateful for all of these experiences. In many ways, I had to get out of my comfort zone to do many of them, but I am so glad that I did. I got to have these really wonderful moments. So I hope that in your travels, this encourages you to also go out and do something that maybe you wouldn't normally do. Step out of your comfort zone,